Welcome into the Tiger Kickoff Show. Missouri, they're back in town after traveling all the way from UMass, and so are we. I'm joined by the Missourian crew and Adam Busack, Davis Wilson, Amelia Hurley. As the four of us, we all made the collective trip, all 1,200 plus miles, all the way out to Amherst, Massachusetts. And, you know, you would love to say things went according to plan when we went out to the Northeast. But you know what? It's Murphy's Law, right? What can go wrong will go wrong. And what basically happened was a reinvention of Home Alone 2 Missourian style. So we'll break this down. But first off, we got to check on these guys here who just traveled, you know, nearly 2,500 miles in the last 3 days, and make sure Busack, Wilson, Amelia, and, well, especially myself, we're all in one piece. We good? Yeah, I think so. You good, Adam? You good?
Yeah, jet lagged, but I'm good.
You sure they didn't they didn't check your legs or something and leave it in?
Yeah,
Charlotte?
I left my pinky back in the hotel. I had to call the hotel up and be like, if you find a severed pinky, ship that back to me, please.
Well, as long as we got your big brain, no Adam's big plays today. But if as long as we got that big brain of yours, we're set here. We can go with the pinkyless Adam. You know, it happened in medieval times all the time. Cut off your pinky. Mafia too. Watch out. Italian right here. Oh, Davis.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm about as well as I can be after the weekend that we had.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm counting this as a win because I usually always forget something when I travel, whether it be like a phone charger or something, but this time I didn't, so pretty good.
You know who did forget a phone charger? Mr. Adam Busack right there. And it was a great experience because we got to spend a lot of time together. And we got to learn some things about each other that we didn't necessarily know. Now, we'll get to that in a second. But let's just talk about our little travel points here. We flew from, imagine this map in your head, we flew from St. Louis, right? So we drove to St. Louis, flew out of St. Louis to Charlotte. And then in Charlotte, well, the plane got in late, so we got stuck in Charlotte for 7 hours. And in those 7 hours, we got to know each other really well. And we got to find out that Adam Busack right here, actually, well, at least I didn't know this, maybe these guys did, was a Mizzou baseball player at one point in time.
We did know this.
The more that you know, Adam.
Yeah.
You're behind, Jacob.
Good days with the program. I miss a lot of the gentlemen. There's not too many of them still here on campus at the University of Missouri, but me and Ben Peterson, Ian Losey, we're holding down the fort.
I was going to say, I don't know how I've known you for I think, what, 3 years now, Adam. Did not know that about you until, you know, we got to, you know, spend a lot of hours together this weekend. What was your guys' favorite moment from our crazy little weekend?
Please,
Shall I go?
Yes.
Putting me on the spot. There's so many to choose from. We enjoyed a nice pizza together on Saturday night after a long work day. 2 nice pizzas, and that was a good time.
It was crazy how we even got to that restaurant in the first place. We were doing our own things, me doing my stuff for TV, them doing their stuff for the Missourian writing style, and we originally planned on going to Boston, maybe go seeing some things, going out in the country, whatever. And we were sending some video back to the station, and this local looks up to us, thick Boston accent, and we told him our plans. We were thinking of going to Boston. He goes, Boston? What are you going to Boston for? And then we kind of got our minds going. It's like, what are we going to Boston for? He's like, you should go to this pizza place called Red Roses. And we were like, okay, like this is a true Boston guy. Like, he knows what's up. Like, we have to listen to him. So we finish our stuff for the station. We start driving down, and sure enough, we give these guys a call. We're like, hey, we're going to this pizza place. Y'all should come with. They're like, is it Red Roses? We're on the way. And we're like, oh, all right, well, we're going to go have pizza together. So it was a great time. You know, we got stuck in Charlotte thanks to American Airlines, but we figured it all out. My partner was stuck in Hartford because he got on the plane. We did not. We got our flight switched around. You could see us there. Here's us stuck in the Charlotte airport. There's us. Shout out Jeb Goldman out in Charlotte for telling us like this great barbecue place inside the Charlotte airport. There's Adam and I sitting on our good old layover. And then on the left side of your screen right there, that's Brandon McVeigh. That's my partner after we got back to the hotel room and were reunited. That was the complete mood once we got back to the hotel at 11 p.m. at night. We started our day traveling at 7, and then we were up at 4:30 in the next morning to get our day going for Mizzou UMass football. But we're here to talk about Mizzou UMass football, so we might as well talk about it. Mizzou, the theme of the entire week was respond for the Tigers. They responded 45-3. Shout out my prediction, 47-3, the closest out of all of you. Davis was the only one that said we wouldn't break 40. He was wrong. Make sure he knows it, especially after he won trivia last week. Okay. Adam, starting with you. Did you see what you wanted to see out of the Tigers' response?
Absolutely, I did. I mean, this was not the most complete game that Missouri's played all year, but it was up there. Only allowing 3 points is very impressive, especially on the road. Even if it's UMass, even if it's a lesser opponent, they played a very complete game top to bottom. I think especially in the second half, we saw a lot about this defense that I think you can take positive things away from. Playing back-to-back games on the road is never easy, especially if you go out and get thumped in the first one, as Missouri did at Texas A&M. Playing your second game on the road, responding that stoically. I don't care who you're playing against. I don't care where you're playing. If you're on the road and you win like that, that's a statement.
Statement win for you as well, Davis?
Yeah, I think so. And I will take the L on not reaching 40 points, but
he had 38. It was 38, correct?
I believe I had 38.
Yeah, so it wasn't like you were anywhere far off.
Sure. And I think you have to give the Missouri offense credit, really. They took care of business. I think a lot of people were, even during the game, concerned with Brady Cook's passing downfield. You have to remember it was really windy, and I actually think he made some really good throws downfield, which I think is another positive you can take from the game. So I was pretty pleased with how Missouri was able to respond, and heading into kind of a really tough stretch in the SEC, that's all you can ask for.
There was really just one very misaligned throw from Brady Cook, and you don't know how much the wind played a factor in that throw. Mookie Cooper was streaking down the field wide open, and Cook just missed him. Outside of that, though, like you said, he was very accurate. He had a good day passing wise. Did you see what you wanted to see out of the Tigers this week, Amelia?
Yeah, I think that they gave what people were missing from the last game. We saw that reestablishment of the Brett Norfleet Brady Cook connection, which was something that I've been looking for this season. We also got to see a lot of new players play, and which was really awesome to see Williams Winery be able to get that game in, recorded his first collegiate sack and sack.
Both at the same time.
We also saw Nicholas Rodriguez had a great game. We saw a bunch of newer players and younger players getting those reps, getting that time in. So it was really great to see the diversity of all the talent on the team.
Yeah, Drinkwitz talked about those guys that he got to get in the game and how their opportunities are earned. If they have success like Noeri, they're going to get more. It was also cool. Flag got to play with his brother on the field, and obviously had that interception for the Tigers. Like I said, that defense in these non-conference opponents, I think, what is it up to now? 10 straight wins against non-conference opponents. They've been able to handle business. Obviously, on Thursday, we're going to have that full breakdown of Auburn on homecoming here. Is that bad taste out of your mouth with this win from UMass, from Texas A&M the week prior, or are you still having some concerns about the Tigers?
I would say that the bad taste is definitely out of my mouth. I think that there's still some lingering issues with Missouri that are going to have to be addressed when they play against a better team. And Auburn definitely isn't the best team that they're going to play this year, but they're a better team than UMass. I think that's a very easy baseline to establish. Missouri's going to have to come out and still play a very strong game and kind of say a statement of, we deserve to be closer to this top 10. We deserve to be considered for the playoff in order to claw their way back in there. However, I didn't see any of the issues that really plagued the Tigers at this A&M game popping up last week, and I think that impressed me at least a little bit.
Yeah, just that little bit of impressment, a little bit of improvement. That's what the AP poll saw. It moved the Tigers up 2 spots to 19, so Missouri's back in that top 20 again. Davis, you agree with that, moving the Tigers up a couple spots after defeating a UMass team?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they took care of business. They did what they needed to do. 45-3 is a convincing win. It's UMass, sure, but it's on the road also, and that's a long trip, as we really do know. All the four of us know how long that trip is. So. Going up to UMass, playing a team that's not the best team they're going to see by far, but a convincing win. I think they deserve credit for that, for sure.
It was really funny, too. Speaking of going up north, team that you don't see too often, Drinkwitz, he opened up his press conference by telling everyone in the media, he's like, y'all got a vacation. He was like, I know you guys are not flying out tonight. I know you guys have a vacation. And it was absolutely gorgeous up there. The football on the field was beautiful, too. Amelia, is that bad taste out of your mouth?
Yeah, that stadium was gorgeous. Let me just emphasize that point there. I wouldn't say it's fully out of my mouth, to be honest. 45-3, obviously a very convincing win, but UMass isn't really equatable to the next SEC play. I think if the Tigers played how they did against UMass, against Auburn or Alabama or these other upcoming teams that are coming up, I don't know that it would have satisfied me. I think that this 45-3 win does have a lot to do with the opponent. And yes, it is hard to play on the road, especially so far as to UMass. But I was satisfied, but my expectations were not succeeded, and I was hoping that they would be.
Before we move into our grades here, because obviously that's the big mention here, I want each of us to give one thing, our favorite thing from Massachusetts. Obviously, long ways from here. Maybe some of you have been to Massachusetts, been out east. Everyone I've talked to recently has been like, oh, it's not peak colors yet. It's not peak colors yet. Oh, it was beautiful. Were the fall leaves your favorite, Adam? Was it
Absolutely.
the food? What was your favorite thing about being up in the Northeast this weekend?
Jacob, I've always had a soft spot for the Northeast and Massachusetts specifically. I was out there, when I was a little bit younger, back in 2017, actually out there in July, so I never really got to see the fall colors. The fall colors were phenomenal, but even just the process of driving from where we were staying in Springfield out to Amherst, you go through these small towns, you see kind of the rundown buildings sticking out through the leaves, big properties and things like that, and the entire area has this feeling to me of history, right? This is a historic state. It's 400, 600 years old, these buildings are. And I think just that feeling of so much has happened here is unique to that region of the country.
I mean, Davis is the man to talk to about history, especially after last week. I'm not saying you're not qualified, Adam, but I think that Davis is anyone to talk about history with him winning our Massachusetts trivia on Thursday. Davis, if you want to give us your favorite part about Massachusetts, the history, like Adam said, that was a rich answer, by the way. No other words to describe it, but just rich, just like
very, very good.
Wonderful, flavorful, delicious clam chowder that I had.
You did?
In the airport,
no.
waiting for my flight.
Oh, no.
Amelia told me that if I ever sent her a photo of my clam chowder, she'd throw up. Or if I ordered it next to her, that'd be even worse.
It's extremely dramatic. Extremely dramatic.
Are you a big? I don't think you're a big clam chowder guy, Davis.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Are you?
I'm the clam
he
chowder
is the
guy.
clam chowder guy.
Come on. I didn't mess around. Let's see. Oh, I have to say, you said it was a historic state. I think you meant to say.
Oh, you got him!
Historic Commonwealth. Right.
Good one.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my favorite part.
Massachusetts knows. That's the ghost of Massachusetts. Maybe it's Sam Adams right there coming from.
My favorite part was probably the weather. It was really nice. Even getting to walk around before the game, we went and found some Missouri fans that were tailgating and walking around. It was really, really nice outside. We were up in the press box, so we didn't have to deal with that wind that you had to deal with. But I would say I loved the weather, and getting a chance to experience the fall leaves and the weather was my favorite part for sure.
The view from the back of the press box too was.
Yeah.
I never saw myself potentially wanting to live in the Northeast, and now I could see myself out there living a very nice, comfortable Like it felt like I was in a Hallmark movie, honestly. That's like,
yeah.
we
Pretty
worked
good.
like a 14-hour day, but I didn't even notice because it was so pretty, it was so gorgeous. We had a blast, and like you said, like it's awesome out there in Massachusetts. Amelia, what was your favorite part? We know it's not the clam chowder.
No,
What was
it's not.
what was your favorite part?
For
of
the
out there?
record, I never said I would throw up if you sent me a photo. I said it was gross, so I'm just putting that out there, defending my name. No, so my aunt, hi Aunt Jody, my aunt lives in New Haven, Connecticut, and I used to visit her almost like every summer, kind of growing up. Would visit her a lot of times to stay with her, and got to see such beautiful area there. But I never got to go really in the fall and see like the foliage and just how gorgeous it is. And I'm a big autumn person. Autumn is like by far my favorite season. You got football, you got orange red leaves, you got cool crisp air, you got Halloween, which is the best holiday.
Oh,
so I know
that's
we've had this argument before. But yeah, no,
We'll
so
revisit that 2 weeks from now.
okay. Anyways, but no, I had a beautiful time. I mean, it was just best place that I visited in quite some time.
That's a good answer right there. See, we stayed away from the clam chowder. We went back to the leaves. We got all these things. I think for me, my favorite part was definitely getting to talk to the fans that made the trip out there. I was able to do a package on it. You can see that on my socials. These people are great. You know, people that come from the Northeast, especially the Northeast Tiger fans, they don't lose their spirit for Mizzou football. You know, there's a guy who traveled with this Shakespeare's cup from the 1990s. And he said this quote. He goes, you know, it feels like a Columbia Saturday. I was like, you can't take this away from these people that come and see Mizzou football from thousands of miles away. And I think that was one of the coolest moments for me is when you become a Mizzou fan. It's not something that you're doing for 4 years. You're becoming a Mizzou fan for your entire life, and that's something that you get to stick with you. And there's a moment for me that I was like, this is a cool moment. It's wholesome. Plus, you have like the whole, like I said, it feels like you're in a movie. Really fast, let's hear our grades. Busak, starting with you on what you think, how you think Missouri did this week.
Yeah, Jacob, for kind of the reasons that I've established a little bit earlier on in the show, Missouri kind of showed me everything that they could have against UMass. Now, there's a lot of things that I think they have left to prove once they play a higher class opponent, but as far as the UMass game goes, that's everything that I needed to see. Brady Cook was out of the game by the start of the fourth quarter. They didn't score with the backups. That doesn't matter to me. I think the fact that they put up 45 with Cook and company in the first place just says a lot about this team. I gave them an A.
Davis, your grade?
Yeah, I'm also going to give them an A, and I'll say, you know, the Missouri defense was tested there late in the second quarter. Tyson Pumachan, the quarterback for UMass, was kind of taking them down the field, and Corey Flagg, the interception towards the end of the half, really changed the game, and they responded really well to being tested a little bit. And that's really what excited me about the defense in particular. They were really able to, I think, respond to getting tested and really turn in a really good performance. So I'm going to go A as well.
Are we a 4.0 here, Amelia? We'll see. What's your grade?
You know, like I said earlier, I was satisfied with the performance, but my expectations weren't exceeded. And I think in order to get an A, you really got to go above and beyond. I don't know that Missouri necessarily did that in this game. I think they did everything that was expected of them, and it was great to see some of those reestablishments. We talked about the Norfleet-Cook connection. We've had that huge run by Burden. We saw like a lot of bright spots in it, but it wasn't the Missouri team that I don't think they played like a playoff contender per se in this game specifically, or like they were, if they played that way against SEC teams, I don't know that would have been above and beyond. So that's why I gave them a B+. I think that they did well, they got the job done. I just don't think it really reached that A mark for me yet.
I think anytime that you can have a coach like Drinkwitz go and tell his offensive coordinator, hey, let's stop running the football. It's working too well and try to improve our passing game. I think you're in a pretty good spot. I got the Tigers for an A. I think with this Missouri team, they did exactly what they wanted to. They rebounded, and they were able to put a ton of points on the boards, get the offense rolling. They were able to have that death row defense show up again. And yes, there's always room for improvement. That's why it's not an A+. If Mizzou goes out and beats Alabama in 2 weeks from now, or Mizzou goes out and they stomp Auburn like Texas A&M stomped us, that's an A+, right? You played really well against a team that is high level, and you succeeded on all levels. That's an A+. This is an A just because of the quality of the opponent, but you can't take away anything from what that Missouri team did on Saturday for me, which is why I will give them an A. Well, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. Got to learn a little bit about Massachusetts, our travel journey, see where the Tigers at and our grading wise. We'll have that full breakdown of homecoming. Yeah, it's already here. If you're coming in, come hit up the Tiger Kickoff Show. We're taking on some guests. Oh, I'm kidding. You can meet Adam. Adam's having a free book signing on Adam's Big Place. Davis is giving clam chowder lectures, and Amelia will not be attending that. But thank you again for tuning into this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. We're presented by the Missourian, and we've got our wonderful Missourian staff right here. And Adam Busack, Davis Wilson, Amelia Hurley, Jacob Siciliano saying peace out, and a good Missouri Tigers win from Massachusetts. Have a great Monday, everybody.